So hello everyone, this is my presentation about market competition among solar panel brand in Indonesia. This slide represents to complete my midterm exam in studying economic and business landscape analysis in MBA program. So as we know that Indonesia has committed to reaching net zero emission by 2060, and this plan is aligned with global climate goals. Solar energy, with its capability and capability, the centralized system is ready to play a central role in these energy transitions. The urgency to accelerate solar adoption is underscored by Indonesian ambitious climate energy targets. So let me jump to the next slide. So based on Peraturan Pemerintah Nomor 79 2014 under the Kebijakan Energi Nasional dan Rencana Umum Energi Nasional, Indonesian government have aims to achieve the 23% renewable energy share in the national energy mix in 2025. In recent years, the Indonesian solar market has witnessed a surge in activity. According to Indonesian Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, or ESDM, from 2018 to January 2024, rooftop solar has grown at a compound annual growth rate of 69.38%, with installed capacity increased by 134.26%. If you look in figure 2, we know that Jamali stands for Jawa, Madura, and Bali. It's already have 90% installed solar power rooftop capacity in 2023. It's based on Isnandar Suroso research in 2025. If you look at the figure 3, we know that the rooftop solar power plant capacity is already 141 in 2023. Following the regulation from Kementerian Energi and Sumber Daya Mineral Number 2 in 2024, there is the new version of regulations. The first one, the new regulation abolishes the net metering. So consumer can no longer export excess electricity to PLN grid for bill deduction. So this impact the economic viability of rooftop solar, especially for households. New regulation also introduced the quota system. Rooftop solar installation are now subject to 5-year quota proposed by PLN or other license provided and approved by governments. New regulation also have registration periods in 2024. So application for rooftop solar system are limited to twice a year, adding procedural constraint. In weather forecast integrations, the system above 3 MW must integrate weather data with PLN SCADA or smart grid system. The regulation also boosts the local industry because the regulation encourages domestic solar module production and is leveraging Indonesia's silica resource and supporting upstream development in Central Java, Batam, and Rempang. For major brand in Indonesia, so we actually have so many company with solar activity, but these 7 brands is the major player in Indonesia. So number 1 is SolarDex. SolarDex offer full spectrum solar solution on grid, off-grid, hybrid, and portable system. It's also have a strong component spare part, or we can call 3DN compliance and local manufacturing. And number 2 is Sumber Energi Sukses Makmur. So this company have a deep regulatory knowledge and EPC capability. It's also collaborate with ITB Bandung for tech development. And next is Sun Energy. Sun Energy is a leading solar developer with over 200 megawatt peak have installed already. It's a local origin company. It's also zero upfront cost leasing model for CNI client, and also Sun Energy trusted by blue chip firms. Blue chip firms is a strong tech partnerships. Next is also from a local company. It's a Cessna. PT Cessna. It's a community-driven solar infrastructure with digital outreach via Solar Warrior. It's actually a pioneer of IPP solar project in Eastern Indonesia. Next, we move to a global brands. It's a Canadian Solar. Canadian Solar diverse product line like Hiku, Bihiku, and Topcom modules. The product is it has a strong performance in low light and hot climates. It matches with the Indonesian weather. It has a global bankability and robust. The warranty is about 25 until 30 years. Next is Trina Solar. Trina Solar has a Vertex series with 210mm buffers and bifacial options. Their product is high efficiency and smart energy integrations. And Trina Solar has a strong supply chains and R&D leadership. The final one is Total Energies. Their product has a full APC and full service for utility. They also offer they also offers the floating PV, hybrid solar storage, and long-term PPAs. This is the 7 major players in Indonesia. We next to the slide. So we next to brands differentiation from other brands for from the technology leadership themes. It's Trina Solar and Canadian brands. These global giant differentiate themselves through the advanced R&D, high efficiency modules, and global scales. It's the strong financials and global certifications. These brands are often preferred for industrial scale, where performance and long-term reliability are critical. The second is differentiation through the local adaptability and spare part compliance. We have a local brands like SolarDex and Sumber Energy Makmur. They have a high component spare part compliance because it's a local contents. They have localized supply chains. They have a better engagement because they have better engagement with local stakeholder. They also contributing to national economic goals. These brands are ideal for government backup project or CSR sensitive project where the local impacts matters. Next is about the financial innovations. The brands like Sun Energy and Cessna, they have flexible financial models, also a bundle service. These players are attractive to commercial clients seeking ROE-driven sustainability without heavy capital expenditure. And next is CSR and community engagements. The brand like Sumber Energy, Surya Nusantara, and Total Energy, they differentiate themselves through the inclusive energy access, education, and training programs. They have a sustainability storytelling, partnership with NGOs and local government, and these brands are well positioned for projects with strong social license requirement. Next, we talk about the market segmentations. The segmentation framework reveals that each solar market segment in Indonesia demands a tailored strategic approach. Uh, in uh, in the radiation market, affordability and ease of installation are paramount, making local brands with simple, cost-effective solution and strong after-sales service the, the preferred choice. This implies that strategies should focus on volume drives sales, customer education, and streamlined logistics. In the commercial industry segment, Decision makers prioritize operational cost saving, ESG compliance, and return on investment. Here, a hybrid strategy combining global Tier 1 technology with local financing innovation is essential. Brands must offer scalable system, performance guarantee, and flexible financial model like PPS to appeal to ROE-driven clients. For off-grid and rural electrifications, the emphasize shift to social impact, modularity, and component engagement. Local and community-focused brands are best positioning to serve this segment, especially through partnership with NGOs and government programs. Strategy should center on inclusive energy access, portable solution, and long-term community involvement. Finally, the utility scale project demand advanced technology, bankability, and integration expertise. Tier 1 global firms dominate this space due to their proven track record and ability to secure long-term PPAs. A strategy focus here should be on the secure capital, navigating the regulatory frameworks, and delivering high efficiency systems that meet national energy targets. Then we move to challenge and opportunity. From manufacturing category, the challenge is limited domestic production of solar cell, high production cost due to small scale, and difficult meeting Tier 1 standard for exports. It is for local brands. The brands like Leso and Trina Masagra, its growing interest from foreign OEMs to relocate factory into Indonesia its opportunities. And also they have opportunities to potential to expand local manufacturing for regional supply. For policy and regulations, uh, the challenge for domestic component level requirements hinder competitiveness, uncertainty post-net metering pace outs. Uh, in the opportunity in the policy and category regulations, government target 421 gigawatt solar by 2060. The strategic program like RUPGL and PSN support rooftop solar. That's an opportunity to all brands. And for market demands, the challenge is low domestic demand limits economy of scales, competition from cheaper Chinese imports. That's a challenge. The opportunity for the brands is rising electricity costs and ESG pressures drive C&I adoptions. Uh, they also have opportunity to export potential to Singapore and Asian market. In technology and innovations, the challenge is limited access to advanced technology and R&D and dependence on imported components. The opportunity to technology and innovation is floating solar, modular system, and hybrid grids offer innovation pathway, efficiency gains, and cost drop in PV tax. Then the final is brand positioning category. The brands have a challenge to it's difficult competing with global Tier 1 brands on reliability and scales. The opportunity is for local brands can leverage cultural familiarity, community ties, and after-sales service in residential or rural markets. For competitive strategy, uh, we know that localizations and a spare part compliance strategy. The point highlights is to prioritize domestic manufacturing to meet the spare part requirements, to have a partner with local EPC and MES. And for notable brand and activity, the SolarDex Indonesia is unlocking local manufacturing capability. For the technology leadership strategy, we highlight the brands should offer high efficiency PV modules and should invest in floating solar, bifacial panel, and smart monitorings. The brands is the Canadian Solar have it's already have to because the Canadian Solar already leveraging global expertise for local deployment. And the project financing and scale strategy. The point highlight the to provide a turnkey solution with financings to target the CNI and utilize scale project with ROI guarantees. So the brands, uh, the company, the Sumber Energy Success Makmur company is already investing in large-scale solar projects. For the community and GSR engagement strategy, the point Alex is to focus on rural electrifications and NGO-backed initiative and to build trust through the local involvement. Uh, PT Cessna is already prioritizing community-driven solar infrastructure. Next is strategic partnership. The point highlights it should be to form the uh, GV with the foreign OEMs and to collaborate with government and PLN for grid integrations. So the Surya Sun Energy is already aligning with national energy policies. Then the brand differentiations for local brands, it's emphasize cultural familiarity and responsive service. And global brands, it's highlight reliability and global track records. The brand like Canadian Solar and Sun Surya Utama Nuansa is already contrasting brand narratives. So next to market positioning for cost leadership strategy, leverage for local brands is leverage proximity to reduce logistic and installation costs, and local brands is also streamline operation via localized supply chains. But in global, the other hand, global brands is compete through volume pricings, import tax incentives, and bundle offering in large scale projects. Then the branding and trust and market for position for local brand is a strong community engagement, bilingual customer service and training programs, reputation for responsive after sales service. In the other hand, global brands backed by international certification and warranty coverage, global case studies, lend credibility in CNI and utility sectors. About the technology innovation strategy, market positioning for local brand is it's a basic innovation for drug environment like tropical and durability. The local brand also emerging interest in portable and flexible panels. But the global brands, they have advanced R&D for smart grid integration. They also have AI power monitoring and floating solar and bifacial panels. For the strategic partnership, the market positioning for local brand is collaboration with local installer, cooperative and MSMEs, NGO and government-backed rural initiative. For market positioning for global brands, it's a joint venture with EPC and national utility, and a public-private partnership for grid-scale deployment. And regulatory alignment, market position for local brand is it's a high spare part and component compliance. They also adaptive to local permits and site level regulations. In the other end, global brands have a position themselves for utility scale PPAs and export deals. They also active in lobbying and navigating energy transition policy shifts. So next, the conclusion of the market competition among the solar panel brands in Indonesia. Uh, the competition and market dynamics. It's local brands thrive through proximity, policy alignment, and community ties, while the global players lead with technology, scale economies, and integrated energy systems. Both groups face challenges like spare part compliance and adapting to tropical conditions, but they have strategic opportunity to shape Indonesia energy in the futures. For strategic differentiations, the brand success hinges on partnerships, sustainability credentials, and operational excellence, not just pricing or performance. Alignment with a regulatory framework, and responsiveness to consumer preference are critical. Uh, the brands is also engagement in CSR, local workforce development, and R&D investment to enhance their own brands. In technological innovations, market is shifting towards smart, resilient solar solutions. The key innovation should do by them is smart automated base energy management, hybrid solar storage system. This technology elevate solar as a strategic asset for grid stability and climate resilience. For the operational strategy and collaborations, competition is a catalyst for progress. It is pushing innovation, cost reductions, broader energy access, and collaboration build ecosystem of resilience and shared value. Um, and the policy in practice, uh, all the brands' success depend. The success of the brands is depend on regulation clarity and consistency. Streamlined permitting, standardized net metering, and accessible green financing are needed. So this is the end of my presentations. I hope this slide could be useful for all of us. Thank you. Stay safe and have a good weekend.